Girl, I hope you're ready to get red.
I was on and it wasn't showing that it was live, and I was texting the people like, why can't I see it? I'm sorry I'm late. I am never late, so I'm very flustered right now.
Do you know it? It's damn technology, Brooklyn. You can't live with it and you can't live without it. You look
Seriously.
stunning.
Do you like my gray hair that I wore in support of you?
Are you satisfied? I know you're a big champion of me going red or just going anything apart from black. So are you okay with me just starting with the kind of pewter streak and then taking it from there?
Yes, I am good with your baby steps. I applaud you. I think it's going to look so good. I still want you to go full gray, and I think it's going to look incredible, and I cannot wait. And I'm also loving this 90s porn star lip you have going on.
Well, this is, with me, it's either red or this.
I love it.
This is very reminiscent of the old Playboy covers.
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson, and even before, and of course, all of the 90s supermodels' lips that I still love a liner. I know people are like, girl, that is so tired, but I just can't break away from a liner because I feel like without it, my lips aren't defined. Do you use liner?
No, I don't use liner. I use a liquid lipstick usually, and I literally put it on and then I go, and wherever it ends up, that's my lip. I make them as big as humanly possible. So, but people have used liner on me. I don't know how to do it. I'm not that detail oriented. I'm good at big picture stuff. And then I have even on Drag Race, I did my own makeup on Drag Race, and then I would have somebody go in and detail it up.
Oh, you mean on Canada Drag Race?
On Canada's Drag Race, yes.
Yeah, no, it's so funny because any brilliant makeup artist that I work with, they usually hand me the lip liner because they know that no matter what. Nicole will do it, and Heidi in the UK, they'll do it, but I'll always end up going, because this is fun fact. Somebody said, why do I look so bronze? Because I fake tanned. And this is the day after, obviously. So one of the sides of my mouth is round and one is straight. So I always feel like I have to go in there and just even it out. And
same. I feel that. I have a scar on one side of my lip from being bitten by a dog when I was 5. And my whole face is very asymmetrical. I think everyone's is, but I really know exactly where I have to put everything. So I tend to just do things myself.
Great. So let's start because we have lots of fun things to talk about. Congratulations on Drag Race Canada. Is it Canada Drag Race or Drag Race Canada?
Canada's Drag Race.
Canada's Drag Race.
Canada's Drag Race.
So it's fun. I love the first episode. Obviously, I get to be a guest judge this series, and it's really, really exciting because it's just for me the thrill of drag and the thrill of how RuPaul's Drag Race kind of changed the world's perception of it is getting to travel around the world and getting to see drag from around the world, how it differentiates all over the place, why UK drag is different from America's drag, is different from Canada drag, is different from the Netherlands and Brazil. It goes on and on. And that's the beauty of the art of drag to me. I think that's why I fell in love with it when I was a young girl in New York City, because people weren't seeing what I was seeing. I don't know if you're too young to know this, but when I first got involved in the community in New York, drag queens were very marginalized. They weren't the crown jewel and it, to me, never made sense because it was why are you not seeing what I'm seeing? This is the most amazing art form I've ever seen. So for me, it was a fight to go, no, but they're in the community. Why are you not seeing? It just was really, really weird. So it's so amazing to me to see the love and appreciation of what you do now. Do you feel a shift from when you were younger to now in drag?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when I was younger, it was just very much bar drag. You saw the drag queens at the bars and they did their shows.
Which we love.
Which we love, absolutely. I mean, that's how we all got our start, and that's amazing. But the reason why I'm so happy there's a Canada's Drag Race now is that's great, but you also, I feel like you need something to aspire to. You need a goal. You need something to make you want to be better. And I think that's what Canada's Drag Race has done for Canadian queens, just like RuPaul's Drag Race has done for American queens. It's given us something to dream about and to work harder for. So I think I think that's been the biggest thing, and I'm just so grateful that we have that in Canada now, and all these amazing queens have the opportunity for the world to see them. Literally all over the world, you can watch Canada's Drag Race, and that's just so cool to me.
Yeah, it's cool in general. So I have some questions here from some of the fans. What this is, I guess it could be for both of us. What's the hardest thing about being a judge on Drag Race? And was there anything harder than you expected? So I'll go to you first, since you're the newest judge to join the crop of judges. What was the hardest thing about being a judge on Canada's Drag Race?
Sending somebody home that first week. Like, I thought a part of me, like my drag queen bitchy side was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like, I got to send someone home, work, like, and then it happened. And I was like, literally heartbroken. I was like, I was holding back tears. You can see my eyes are a little bit watery that first episode. And after we stopped filming, like the next day, I full on cried. I remember one of the producers came into my room and was like, how are you doing? And I was like, yeah. Like, I like just broke down because it was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to, especially coming from someone who is a contestant, and I know very well firsthand how much money, how much time, how much stress, like how much you want to be there. And then just having to send someone home that first week just really, really was heartbreaking. So that was most definitely the hardest part for me.
I think I agree. From the first day that I started, I seem like it's easy, and it means, you know, it's easy for me to do. But to this day, like, that's why I'm so glad on All Stars they let me go back in Untucked and talk. It's because I literally would love to just hug and hold all of them. And I hate sending, I hate seeing you're sending them. I don't send them. I just
I have to send them.
And I can't imagine how that feels. For me, it breaks my heart when any of them have to go, or you see them not fight as hard as I know they could, or whatever the situation is. It's just heartbreaking because you know, just like you said, how much they spend, or even taking the money out of it, how much it means to them to get to that point. They fought to get there, and they're there, and then that happens. But listen, it happened to me on Strictly. It happened to me on other shows. It happens. It's part of a competition. Do you know what I mean? Was it harder? So you're saying basically it was harder than you expected. And I can tell you on my behalf, it's hard every single week to see anybody. Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, it was harder. Like, I mean, the good thing is like because there's 3 judges and all 3 of us have share equal duties. So some weeks I'm leading the runway, some weeks another judge is leading the runway. So it's not always me who literally has to say it, which is nice, which makes it easier. Like, I'm not actually, but I'm still obviously part of the decision-making process. And it's just really, really, it's a hard thing. But I mean, I think that first week was just the hardest because we literally had never done it before. And it's the first week, and you could see how stressed out and how much everyone wanted to be there. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So this one says, this question for both of us, what would your, what personality trait do you most like about each other? Ooh. I'll go first. Well,
okay.
What I loved about Brooklyn is I love her sense of humor because she gets it. She doesn't take anything too seriously, which in this world we're finding out there are things that are meant to be taken seriously, and there are things that are not meant to be taken seriously. And Brooklyn's really good at being in on the joke and getting it. I also think Brooklyn has a really kind heart. Obviously, we see the fierce queen. We know her body. We know all that stuff. She's amazing. But as a human being, I think there's a truthfulness to Brooklyn that I love. I think she's authentic. I don't think she pulls any punches. I don't think she ever acts a way to, you know, be in or not be in. I just think she's real. And that's what I love about Brooklyn.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. What I love about you, I love, first and foremost, your honesty. I know if I come to you with anything, I'm always going to get a straight answer and an honest answer. And I love that. I think that's one of my favorite qualities in any person is something I always look for is their honesty and their authenticity. So I really appreciate that about you. And I really love your professionalism. We've said this in a bunch of interviews, actually, with all the judges. Having you on the show was such a masterclass in judging because you're so good. Like, literally, you're just so good at it. Like, it's hard judging something for the first time because you want to say so much to the girls. And you want, like, I would just go on and on and on. They'd be like, okay, like, it's an hour show. We can't fit all this in. And you were so good at coming in, saying something really meaningful and helpful in this perfect little soundbite box that you could just give to them. And we were like, oh, that's how you do it. it was so great. You're so good at it. And so I really appreciate how professional and how honest you are. And you're also really pretty.
Go on. Oh, no, okay. Okay, so for me, thank you. That means everything to me because I think it's important to get to the sweet spot. I think you get to the point of what they need to hear. You can fluff it up, but I don't think there's a need to. I think like when I'm getting criticized, when I was in the recording studio, when I was on the radio for all those years, acting in a show, I want the director to just get to the sweet spot. That wasn't good enough. Change that. That was perfect. Don't touch it. That's what I want to get to. And I think people deserve credit where credit is due. And if something could be better, help them make it better. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes people aren't ready to hear it. I know there's been times about myself where it's like, I don't know if I'm really ready for that critique, but in the end, ultimately, it will help. And I think that's the goal of all of us. But just tell us what we need to do and get there and maybe give us an example of how we can do it instead of saying, that was hideous, gross, go away. That doesn't help anybody. But saying, this didn't work. Let me tell you why this didn't work because of this, this, and this. I think that's definitely a way to give a critique and make it work. You know what I mean?
For sure. Absolutely.
What do you think lockdown, this is from Oliver, what has lockdown done for the drag community? Because it's been tough for you kids that, we're gig-based artists struggling through quarantine, as a lot of performers are in the arts. What has lockdown done for the drag community, would you say?
I feel like it's taught the drag community a new skill. I mean, everyone's had to go online and go virtual. I think it's taught a lot of people how to edit videos, how to just become better at online marketing, all of these other things that we never really had to worry about before. Like, we all knew how to take a selfie and all this stuff, but like we never had to perform online per se. So I think it's definitely made people get more creative. I know it's made me get more creative, even just with trying something as simple as trying new colors in my makeup or something like that. I think, just more creative and learning a new skill probably.
Yeah, if you're watching How's Your Head, Hun, which I hope you are, every Tuesday on BBC Three, a new one tomorrow, I've kind of been doing that, been pushing myself to think out of the box and do things I wouldn't normally do. And I think that's kind of what this quarantine should be about. Not just about how to be pretty or how to put makeup on or learning how to, make money or do drag from home or whatever it is. I think it's about finding a way to make yourself happy and find happiness in this rather bleak overlook of what's going on in the world. And I was able to marry a couple. Did you get to see the wedding that I did in Dundee?
Yes.
They were so amazing. And
that's so cute.
A world we live in now that we're able to marry people or be at a wedding I've seen like virtual weddings, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras. I've been seeing them all. And I
did an engagement party. I did
an
engagement party. Yeah, it was so fun.
What did you do? Did you perform?
I didn't know. I just literally popped up and hung out and like talked to them. It was great.
I think it's the most amazing thing. So I think that, like Brooklyn said, for drag in quarantine and people that are maybe wanting to start it can start trying on their own. And that's what it's been all about. But how have you, Brooklyn, I talked a little bit about this with you on How's Your Head, Hun. How have you kept yourself stable? And for lack of, I didn't want to say the word sane because I've had moments of ups and downs.
Trust me too. Oh my God.
How have you kept yourself okay in this pandemic?
Well, I moved, first of all. I changed my location. I moved to Los Angeles in April, which was stressful, but in hindsight, it was the best thing I could have done. I was just not happy anymore in Nashville. I didn't have a good friend base, and I didn't like my apartment. I just didn't like being there, and my energy was really down. So I moved to LA and got an amazing place, and that was incredible for my mental sanity. And then I also started therapy. I started online therapy for the first time ever. So that was really amazing, and that's been wonderful. I do it every week for like an hour, and it's just so nice to have someone who's paid to listen to your problems. And paid.
I think this is really important for people, especially in the UK, because therapy is seen as very American and kind of taboo and don't talk about feelings. I can't begin to tell you, if you can, because it is cheaper online, but it's still not free. For the most part, there are definitely hotlines and places you can go. But if you're looking for weekly therapy with, a therapist, and you could do it online, I highly, highly recommend it. Brooklyn here is just saying it's saved her in so many ways. I know it saved my actual life many times and my children. So big support of that if you can do that, because this quarantine does bring out the best in people and the worst in people. I think we're going through an emotional roller coaster. I've seen a lot of, in my family, slip ups with mental health things. And, we're sitting around too much. We're ruminating, we're thinking. And I think it's important to let yourself know that it's okay not to be okay some days. So every day is a new day.
It's been a huge thing for me. I think a big lesson I've learned during this quarantine, just in general, is to invest in myself. We invest so much in our drag and everything, but like to actually invest in yourself is huge. And that's not something I ever really did before. I always put everything before actually what was going on with me. So therapy has been great. I started cooking a little bit, which I'd never done before. Like I've just been learning basic adult skills that I just somehow been able to skip over for a decade.
Okay, what do you mean by cooking?
I get one of those grocery delivery things where like everything's delivered to you, and then they bring you it's a recipe is included, and then you cook the recipe, which is great because you don't have to go to the grocery store, because I hate going to the grocery store. I get super anxious because it's just a lot, especially now with wearing a mask and everybody. So everything's delivered to your door, and then you have a recipe and you just cook it, and it's amazing, and it's something I never did before.
Okay, you'll tell me off which one you're doing, because there's so many, but they are very, very helpful, especially when you don't know how to cook. So when I'm out away and my husband had the kids, he would just do that, and he was naturally a cook. So those are really good things. And there's so many recipes on not just, YouTube and things like that. There's all sorts of places you can go for recipes, and the videos are there, and they show you how to cook, and it's super fun to get into it. And I'm not talking about making sourdough bread or banana bread. I'm talking about like making food that you can eat every day.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it is super, super fun.
I was gagged how much fun I was. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I've enjoyed this. And then the last thing I've started working out more. I'm doing I try to work out pretty much like 5-6 days a week, just even if it's for half an hour. I do an online thing. My friend Jason Wimberly, he's a trainer, and I work out with him online. And yeah, it's been great. And it's just nice, again, investing in yourself, investing in your mental and physical health. I haven't had a cigarette in 3 weeks.
That's not easy.
No.
That's not easy.
Yeah, I haven't had a cigarette in 3 weeks, so that's been great. So yeah, just I feel really good. I feel like I'm doing everything I possibly can be doing to make sure I'm in a good place mentally. And then I've just been doing drag when it comes. Again, I'm so grateful for the show coming out, because it's given me something to look forward to. We've been doing press for it, obviously, which has given me like a little bit of motivation to get in drag. And I did all of my I donated all of my Cameo earnings from June to different organizations that uplift the Black community, and that was really huge too. And so that was just something to kind of keep me going and keep me feeling good. It feels really good to help out and give back. Like that's another way you can help your mental health, is doing things for other people. And that's another thing I kind of discovered.
And give of your time and money because of the situation right now. You can help by posting things on social media, or adding petitions, or adding GoFundMes and things that help people that have been a victim of all these things that are happening right now. So absolutely. Question from Melivarus. What would your occupations be if you weren't celebrities? Now, obviously you would want to be a dancer, but what else? Like, what would you do that wasn't arts-based? Because this is a really hard question when you think about that.
I think I'd be a really good trophy wife.
Okay, all right, listen.
That's a job. That is a job.
Yes, I cannot laugh at that. I've never known what it feels like, so that's why I have to laugh.
Me neither.
I don't know. I would probably work at like, a health food place, or
you'd work with animals.
Or with animals, like there was a place called the Gentle Barn out here that rescues all these animals, like cows and sheep. Like I would definitely do something like that.
Yeah. I've always wanted to like live on a game reserve in Africa and work with the animals, like somewhere where they rescue animals and like rehabilitate lions and like that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really cool. I'd love to work with animals, or something that doesn't involve like definitely not something in customer service, because I just do not have the patience or the time for people.
Do you understand how difficult? I give so much respect to people that work in customer service.
Oh my God.
They're actually good at it, and they're actually helpful.
Yes.
That's the most amazing thing in the world. When I get people on the phone, they like, can you stay for the thing after to give them, what's it called?
The review. Yeah, the survey.
Absolutely. And I stay and I will do that survey because they were amazing. That's really, you have to know where your limitations are. And if you don't like people, don't go into customers.
Yes. And always be nice to your waiters and your hotel staff and everybody.
Yes.
It's like, don't mess with those people. Like, that is rule numero uno. If you're working on a film set, be nice to the crew. Like, because trust me, you need them.
Going back to servers that are, working for you, even now, like if you're able to have your groceries delivered, because I'm scared to get to death too. And, take care of them, be kind to them, tip them if you can. And for me, all the key workers out there, like I've gone to the hospital and donated waters and things like that are important. If you can help. If you can't, understood. But again, like we said, you can put something up on social media, any kind of links or, memes, whatever they are to help people. Have you ever had people tell you that you're not good enough? This is from Chloe Ann, and this sounds like it might be personal. And Chloe Ann, I am told, working in the public eye, especially on a show like Drag Race or Ireland's Got Talent or whatever it is that I do, when you critique people, you put yourself out there for that. So I've been told for a long time, you can go on my social media and go now. You'll see how many people tell me I'm not good enough, or I should quit, or I'm a wannabe, or I'm a hanger-oner, or why am I there? I don't belong there. I've been told that from the beginning of my career when I started in the girl group. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't skinny enough. I didn't have enough big boot. Look, whatever the situation was, you have to get to a point, Chloe Ann, where you have to worry about you. Because at the end of the day, if my husband doesn't think I'm good enough, or if I don't think I'm good enough, then we need to sit down and have a conversation. But you need to believe in yourself. You need to look at yourself in the mirror every day. I talk about this all the time with my kids and whoever I can. And I don't know, Brooklyn, if you've experienced this, whether in drag or out of drag, but the hardest thing in the world, it's so easy for us to say to you, Brooklyn, I love you. But then to look in the mirror at myself and say, Michelle, I love you, is the most uncomfortable thing in the world. And it makes no sense that we can't look in the mirror and tell ourselves that we love us, yet we can tell a stranger that we love them. So it's very, very weird. But all I can say is I'm told every day that I'm not good enough, Chloe Ann, and I think I am. So I'm just going to keep working harder to be better for this world and my kids and my legacy and the drag queens that allow me to represent them and support them, and the kids out there who allow me to represent them and support them. And you can't worry about what anybody else thinks. Brooklyn, I'm sure you've had experience with people telling you that you weren't good enough.
Can't relate. Sorry. I'm just kidding. Yes, of course. But I will say this to Chloe Ann. I have absolutely had people say online and everything, you're not good enough. But the person who's told me I'm not good enough the most is myself. I have beat myself up so much over the years, whether it be when I was a ballet dancer, because I started dancing super late. So I was really behind everybody. I was playing catch up pretty much my entire career, and it was really hard, and I was really down on myself, and I would tell myself, you're not good enough. And I would beat myself up so much more than anybody would ever beat me up. I would criticize myself so much more than anybody ever would. And I would do that. That carried over into drag because I wanted to be perfect and I wanted to be the best. And when I wasn't, I would really just bash myself in. And you saw that on the show too. You saw me get down on myself and all that stuff. And that's just something that's probably always going to be with me, and something I'm always going to have to work on. And that's okay. We all have things we carry with us, and we all have projects and things about ourselves we always have to, that are always there, that we're always going to have to check in on and make sure that we work on. And that's one of my things. It's always going to be one of my things. But I have to say, again, with therapy and just and over the years of learning about myself and learning to love myself, it does get better. And every day I love myself a little bit more. And I don't want to make it sound like I hate myself, because I don't hate myself, but I'm just very critical. I'm very critical of myself. And it's something I'm always going to have to work on. But it's the work, it's worth doing the work. It's
what do you
so
say
necessary.
out there that are, you know, we've often said you will find your family, you will find your people. Do you have any advice? For me, I did not have, growing up, I did not fit in. I was a kid who was made fun of, picked on, bullied, just like everybody else.
Same.
Yeah, and then I went on my own merry way and was like, well, if I'm going to get picked on, I'm going to do it my way. So I was really into punk rock, like the Sex Pistols and all that stuff, but a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was weird. I had a blue mohawk and I had like my padlock around my neck and never fit in central New Jersey. The boys didn't like me. The girls thought I was a weirdo. Again, I was, but that's fine. I was a misfit and it upset me then because I couldn't find a way to fit in. I tried to blow my hair out, make myself pretty and wear like normal clothes, and it still wasn't good enough. So it wasn't until I moved to New York City and I found my world in the gay ballroom scene, like you see on Pose, and competing in the ballroom scene. But it was weird because how my story goes was when I met these kids, I walked into a nightclub. This beautiful, beautiful brown-skinned boy came up to me and said to me, I don't know who you are, but you have the most beautiful face I've ever seen. Now, mind you, nobody's ever said that to me but my mother and people who were trying to maybe get laid in high school. So it was amazing to me to have somebody out of nowhere say that to me. So it brought me down the steps. I went into this back room, which could have been anything. Could have been a set, like could have been anything. Mm-hmm. And it was like 30 of the freakiest, weirdest, beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. And I knew at that moment that I had found my family. That was it. I'd been home and they were doing something I'd never seen before, which was voguing, which is Willie Ninja and all them were there. And that's how I learned how to vogue and became part of the scene. But I'm saying all this to tell you that back then I'll tell you the year, it was 1987. I was never judged. I was the only person in my house of Magnifique with skin this color. And they didn't care. They didn't care that I didn't blend. They didn't care that I wasn't Latina or a person of color. They just welcomed me in with open arms and never left me. All the lessons that I learned as a youth in that kind of age group, like as a teenager, was learned in that house setting with a house mother and a house father who taught me how to vogue, Cesar Valentino, who still teaches vogue at Albanelli, and still a very big part of my life. But I learned so much on the world from them. But my point is, sometimes it takes a while to find your family, and just know that they are out there. And I don't know if, Brooklyn, you had the same experience with struggling until you found your family, your chosen family, obviously.
I did a little bit. Like, I met some of them when I was at the National Ballet School of Canada. And then I met some of them when I started traveling and doing drag more. And when I started doing drag a lot in Toronto is when I met the majority of people I consider my chosen family. Just people I love, people who are so special to me and are just always there for me. And people you can just they know everything about you. They don't judge you. You can say anything to them and have honest, open conversations with them. And I think that's so, so important. And I also have to say, like, if someone's picking on you or bullying you, because I actually got bullied and picked on in ballet school of all places. But the thing is, like, this happened when I was in school, and then a year later, one of my bullies came out to me as gay, and he's now one of my best friends.
No way.
Oh yeah, he's one of my dearest friends to this day. But it just goes to show you, bullies are there. It's never about you. It is always about them. When you were being picked on, when you were being bullied, just know it's not about you. It's about the person. They have something. They have some anger. They have something they're hiding that they're trying to get over, and they are projecting it onto you.
Yeah, it's not easy in the moment. We understand to have pity or think, oh, this isn't about me, it's about them. Because at the end of the day, it still hurts. Words do hurt, which is why if social media is too much, you could leave. You do not have to subject yourself to that stuff. And you shouldn't. If you're feeling vulnerable or in a place that is making you think bad thoughts, then leave. Mm-hmm. Don't be part of it. Put yourself in a place that, makes you feel good. Lifts lifts you up. That's what it's about. From somebody, we have a question here that says, will you miss filming in lockdown when How's Your Head is over? Are you kidding me? I won't be able to sit in front of this iconic chair anymore. It's been fun for me to be able to film How's Your Head, Hun, because and I tell this story a lot. So when I get off, when I was flying back from London, because the travel ban was on, I was talking to my husband and texting and saying, well, how about we do this? Because I felt like the way we were going back, I know people out there might think that I'm rich because I'm on television. I'm not rich. So I wasn't going back to a big house with a guest house and a pool and a chef and a trainer and this. It's just me and my husband and my kid and her boyfriend. And we're going to do lockdown probably how the majority of people are going to do lockdown. So we thought, why not put some like little GoPro camera thingies in the house and do a show out of it and try to make people have fun and forget the pandemic that's happening outside. Now, through this came some really great things. You know, we got the incredible Black Lives Matter movement and things that needed to be said for a very, very long time. So we got some good things out of it. But hoping How's Your Head, Hun lets you forget the scariness that's out there. And now that the world's kind of starting to lift its restrictions, I hope you're still safe out there, and I hope it brought you joy. Brooklyn's on it. We have Vivian on it, and some of our favorite queens are on it, but it's been such a joy to bring that to you. Also, before we sign off, we just want to remind people, How's Your Head, Hun, Canada's Drag Race, of course, RuPaul's Drag Race UK are all on the iPlayer. You can find them all there. And Brooklyn, any last words for our beautiful people that are following us?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, I'm so grateful and just very, really overwhelmed in a way about the reception that Canada's Drag Race has gotten from everybody. Everyone has been so enthusiastic and so passionate. I mean, there have been people, obviously, who are like, I didn't agree with this, but like the point is people have strong opinions about it and they're passionate about it. And that, to me, is what is important for a show. Yes. People are invested and they love it. So I'm just so thankful and grateful to everyone for that. And I also just want to remind everybody to, like I said, do the work on yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Check in with yourself, stay healthy, drink lots of water, tell yourself that you love yourself because it is very important. It's super awkward, but it is so important, the most awkward, but it helps. It really, really does. And make sure you take some time to invest in yourself during all of this.
Yes, and even if you start every morning before you brush your teeth, you wake up, you go have a wig because you know you're gonna, then you look in the mirror as you brush your teeth and you say, hey, I love you. Even if you do it kidding, just to start it, it's a great way to start that habit of telling yourself you love you. These are the things you keep in mind. Like Brooklyn said, invest in yourself. Like I said, we both said, tell yourself you love yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, look in your cell phone, do whatever you tell yourself, and don't do it in a demeaning way. Do it in a real way. Also, if being out there in social media world is too much, scale it back. Love yourself, be kind to yourself, give yourself a break. It's okay not to be okay. You can do whatever you have to do to make yourself feel better. Just know that Brooke and I love you. There's always going to be negative that go along with the positive. Don't focus on the negative. Easier said than done. Try to focus on the positive. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for watching Canada's Drag Race. How's Your Head, Hun? RuPaul's Drag Race, all on iPlayer. Thank you so much. We love you. We're out here cheering for you. We know you can do it. Stay strong. Stay safe. Please wear a mask, especially if you are in these United States. Please wear a mask. And we love you. Brooklyn?
I love you all, and I love you, Michelle. Thank you for having me on to do this with you. This has been amazing.
Thank you, my darling. See you soon, guys.
All right. Bye.